Welcome, everybody. Welcome down to the basement's drawers with www.simgear.club and Racebook. Today, we're going to do another episode of something old. Yeah, didn't know I had Heusinkveld pedals. Yes, I do. Is going to get replaced with something new, and it's the Heusinkveld HE-SPUBP20, and that's the Ultimate Plus plate, the new one. Let's do this. I'm not throwing it. It's too heavy. Okay, so here you have it underneath our awesome desk mat here that you know where to go and find the usual places. We've got our new Huesinkveld Ultimate Plus base plate, which it looks like is a variation on their old base plate for the sprints, but made possibly heavy duty. And that's per Huesinkveld, because like I had to call them, or not call them, but find out what was going on with the difference, because like they list these on their website as the same price, but if you go to Micro Center, there's a $20 difference between the sprint version and the ultimate version. So we went with the ultimate version because we've got the ultimate pedals, and later on I'll go over the differences between the old and the new version once we go ahead and take a look at this and get it all straightened out. So we get some quick start guides here as soon as you open the box. Let's see what we got here. Assemble and mount your base plate. Mount Ultimate Plus Smart Control box mounting. Adjust your heel plate. That's the big difference here, is the heel plate. The original one does not come with a heel plate, and that is, I guess it's not a bummer until you realize you've never had one. It's not a bummer, but if you've had one before, like say on a Fanatec pedal or something like that that comes with a heel plate, like or Sim Labs has a pedal slider that now comes with a heel plate, you might say, oh, wow, heel plates are cool. So they've come out with a new one with a heel plate, and it's black too, to be coordinated with the new black pedal. So there's that. Enjoy your sim racing experience. You've got your quality control card here from them, so you know it's in good shape, or whatever from them, and it's gone through their rigorous engineering standards. So there's a piece of cardboard. It's a little floppy in here, but that's cool. Everything's marked. There's another feature here that you've seen probably Remco. I'm not Remco talk about, but Remco talks about the tongue and groove system now, which allows the plate and the mounting system to be locked in place a little bit better. So marked right and left, that's kind of cool. But there's that tongue and groove system that they talk about, which is pretty important to the difference here, which when I watched the video, I was like, yeah. This is it. This is what I want to try these. So there's our kick plate, which is really nice. It's silver, so it doesn't match your black, but it everything else matches your black, so it says. So there's our kick plate. Here's our right and left side. Let's see what else I can get into here. There's going to be another big old plate in here somewhere. Hardware box. Everything's, there's our big old spacers. Everything's a bigger bolt and is Torx bit now, they say. So that's supposed to be better. But I don't know if I'd agree with that. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. So super heavy duty plate. And that's the difference between the sprint. So there's a sprint version of this, like I said a minute ago, and then there's an ultimate version, and then this is the ultimate. So bigger, much bigger, thicker plate. It's longer, wider for bigger, longer pedals, which the ultimates are over the sprints, and that was what the manufacturer had told me. So let's go ahead and start putting them together. So I've got our assembly bags separated here. They've got a wrench for both bags. So I'll get this one out and I'll just use them both, I guess. Why not? So it's got a pedal kick plate. So the kick plate there, and then it's got height adjustment. So that's why it comes with the extra hardware. And like I said, it comes with the extra bolts too. So I'll just go ahead and dump this in here so I can get better access to it. This doesn't really make much sense to me. This is actually the, this is to mount to your rig. Well, I think it's everything. Because like you'll need these large ones there to attach your risers to, because it specifically instructs you to use longer screws to do the riser. Because I'm going to do the riser because I've always had a problem with the heel plate being too non-existent heel plate. So I'm going to get those out, and then I'll look at the instructions to see what else there is. But yeah, definitely need 4 of these countersunk. So 1, 2, did I get another one here? 3, and then 1 more. And then I'll need nuts for those 2. Looks like I got a few of them out there already, so we should be good. Then I can start assembling that. So let's assess what we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4 to attach the rails to the actual pedal mounting plate. So we'll clean this up and go ahead and do that now that we found the correct screws. We'll take these screws out too and make sure we put them where we need them, because I think we're going to just do those right off the bat, because we can always take them out probably just as easily as we can put the shorter ones in. Because like I said, I think it's always been lacking a kick plate, so heel plate, whatever you want to call it, is what it's going to get. There's our screws for that. All right, so like I said probably several times in the video already, because I like to repeat myself, this new system uses tongue and groove. So you've got this slot that goes into the plate. Both the Sprint and the Ultimate have it. So that both of them are new, or maybe the old one for the Sprint always had it. I've never had Sprints, I don't know. But just slide it in like that. Sure, other one that's left and right, like I said in the intro there when we opened it up. You can see it very easily. Then you get your hardware, drop it in there. The other nice thing that Remco said is that these have locking nuts, so they're self-locking. So as soon as you get them on there and you get it to the right point, it will just grab itself and lock in place. So it should not come apart. Haha, it should not come apart. That's funny. Anyway, nothing to do with any one in particular manufacturer, just famous last words. So there we go. We got 2, 3, 4 here. I know you've probably watched Remco do it, and maybe you're not watching me, but that's cool too. Got these at Micro Center. They're in stock. I think they'll ship them to you probably for a couple of bucks. They're $109 for the Sprints. If you have Sprints, they're $129.99 for the Ultimate Plus. Just a heads up there. So if you're looking at the website of Heusinkveld, looking at this product, thinking, oh, well, why the hell is he saying Micro Center is 120? I don't know. Maybe it's a weight when they're shipping them or something, and a tax for that. Maybe it's, who knows what it is. I'll tell you right now, though, this is snugging up really nice. And with this tongue and groove system here, doesn't feel like I have to really do any kind of adjustment or line it up or anything kind of hokey like that. It's just take and hold here. Sure would be nice if I had some black pedals too to go on here. Looking at you, Remco. Remco here, not Remco here, sorry. So there's that. Next step is going to be mounting the heel plate. So for the heel plate, got my hardware out. Just go ahead and get after it here. I'll lay that right there. So for the heel plate, I'm going to do the optional riser. I wonder why it's not a just a heavier duty bolt all the way around. But hey, I'm not an engineer at Huesinkveld. I don't know S. So I try to keep it to myself when I've got thoughts, unless something breaks. Because a lot of times when you're dealing with these companies that, you know, really like their products and think they're cool, if you ask them questions and you're not nice about it, you might not like the response that you get. So brother taught me that. I'm still trying to learn it, how to approach your customer service representatives, because he was in that field, I guess, for a while. And he was on the DCC of a couple of my emails with somebody, I forget who. And he's like, man, you gotta be cooler about that. Well, I am sometimes. Just depends. So I'm just kind of, this is really easy. I'm just kind of getting my finger in here and the hardware and everything's kind of sliding together really good. So nothing to worry about there. Nothing seems stripped out or overly hard to accomplish here. Just kind of torquing her down here to put it together for show here. I guess when I put it on the rig and talk about the other things, we'll really get after it. Last one, best one. So I've got them stripped down to you know, do the changeover here. There's my Ultimate Plus. There's my old Ultimate Plus base plate. I figure we'll talk about what you're leaving behind first, and then we'll talk about what you gain. Like, they're the same height. The old plate is much narrower. The old plate had an adjustable, you know, extra mounting plate. You could adjust the plates to mount from here or here, depending on how narrow you're mounting the plate to. You know, there's a couple of different configurations, I guess, if you needed it. It used old school hardware, so just Allen head, all the same hardware actually, though, which is kind of nice. Your control box mounts to the bottom and it just inward threading, so no need to worry about extra hardware for that. So I don't know if that's a plus or a minus. This is all subjective, I guess. Same thing with mounting. I won't show you much of that actually, because it's all dependent on your rig. What I'll do next is we'll talk about what you gain here, I guess, with this new one. So heel plate adjustable. We've talked about that a couple of times. You're going to have two areas to put down cable management stuff. It's about, it's not as thick, definitely not as thick. You're going to have a little different hardware. It's going to be this stuff. So no Allen wrenches at all. So it'll be a 10mm nut. So that'll go to your rig. It's only one mounting slot for rig. For your control box, I don't know about your rig. For me, I like my USB to the front of the pedals. That way I can put, you know, the wire in. It's pretty easy, no big deal. For this one, it's you know, pretty much one hole. That's all you got. You'll be able to adjust here. As far as mounting to my rig, I'm pretty much going to be using mostly the same position. And to get my pedal positioning like the old pedal, what I've done is I've made a measurement and a mark from center. So I measured my brake pedal on this old one from center, and then I made the mark here based on the center of the pedal. And then I also have a measurement for the outer pedals, the clutch and the throttle, and how they should be, apart from each other. So I'll just make adjustments from there. With the new hardware, which is Torx, like I said, it's cool and it's not cool. It's a different, tooling method altogether. And this hardware is something that I'm not really a huge fan of. Like, if they're going to do something different, I guess they're engineers and they know what's going on, but I would have probably made this a little chunkier. But I would have made everything a little chunkier. So that's one thing that you leave behind, I guess, is the difference in the thickness of the plate. But this one is just flat plate, so it's super thick. This one is flat, but it's got a bend in it, so it should be thicker. So let's go ahead and get rid of this one. Get our plate dead center here. Get our pedal. And get our screws. We need 4 of them. 2, 3, 4. And like I said, I went from dead center from the old pedals because like on my old pedal plate. At this point, pro tip, you're going to want to make sure that all your hardware is tight, because once you put everything down, your control box is going to be covered by your brake. You won't be able to access that hardware. The rails are going to be covered by the pedal. You won't be able to access that hardware. So most of the time when you're doing pedal maintenance, or if something happens, you're taking them all the way off anyway. But just to make perfectly certain that you have that stuff done before you get to this point. So I got my pedal mounted here. Gremco says you want to make sure that you don't let the front of the pedal hit the front of the base plate. So it's about right. Just like that. So that would be where I would be at there. And then I would put a spacer there just to make sure that I don't hit. Then you'll take your T-nut. Like I said, this is I don't know if this is a great design or not, because like they're pretty thin. It's pretty difficult to get your fingers down in here. Like once you have all your pedals down here, and like the hardware is kind of thick, so maybe their new black pedals have different hardware in the actual chassis. But I just know there's a little clearance issue here. So once you get it on here, you gotta make sure you get it kind of flush, and then make sure that you get it into the channel. Take your time. Don't get ahead of yourself, because it's kind of tricky. So do 2 for the back, probably get them kind of tight. I've had this on and off a couple of times just to make sure that I had an idea on how it worked. And that's how it worked for me, is just to make sure that you have it mostly on here. And then once you get it to clear your chassis hardware here for your feet, then you can go ahead and really worry about getting it tight. But yeah, that was the one problem that I found with this hardware. But they say it's nice, so I thought the other one was fine too. But I'm gonna like it being wider, because that'll give you more options and stuff like that. So just a quick overview of these and what you leave behind and what you gain. Heel plate, wider, more configurable options, and so on and so forth. So we'll let you know if they're any good from here in our live streams. Hope you liked us, and I hope you found it informative.